over 27 years here in Tuscaloosa, Catfish Heaven has been pleasing our taste buds with their delicious catfish, pan trout, hot wings, coleslaw, hush puppies, and don't forget about those made-to-order French fries. Whether it's your snack time, lunchtime, or dinner time, give the guys a call over at Catfish Heaven at 205-752-7222, or you can make your order online at catfishheaventuscaloosa.com. So head on over to Catfish Heaven at 2502 21st Street. See you there.
Hello?
Hey, Rick, I had to call you to tell you that the food that you brought to the party last night was wonderful. It made me think about my grandmother's cooking. Where did you get that food, brother?
I went down to Thomas Rib Shack to pick up the ribs, but when I got there, I seen that they had more than just ribs. I seen baked chicken, fried chicken, corn muffins, vegetables, apple pie, peach pie, and I looked around and I seen a sign that told me that they got chitlins and oxtails on Sunday. Oh, all I can tell you, go down to 2931 15th Street or just give them a call like I did at area code 205-759-5010. Thomas Rib Shack, Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
And they on DoorDash now.
Head on down to Archibald and Woodrow, some of the best barbecue in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, y'all. Right off of 4125 Greensboro Avenue, Tuscaloosa, Alabama 35405. You can hit them up at 205-331-4858. Also, you can find them at their other location, 1211 Martin Luther King Boulevard, Northport, Alabama 35476. 205-345-6861.
Tastes so good, make you want to slap your mama.
Fly, fly, fly. Gucci, huh? I drink till I'm drunk.
Fellas, head on down to New Generation Barber Shop, right off of 2600 McFarland Boulevard East, Suite C. Go ahead and get you a fly cut from my boy Fred Brown. You can hit him up at 205-292-4995. Also Sam Brown at 205-722-8506. And how can I forget about my boy Amp the Barber? Hit him up at 205-561-7473. Check him out, y'all.
Take a pic, I might as well. Hell, drop the top and take a selfie.
You shopping at a goddamn number 2 pizza.
Yeah, they do stuff like that. They gonna see the elements now. They gonna go see the elements. They gonna go see the elements.
Good evening, and welcome to another episode of the all-new T-Town 411 Report. I'm Darren McKinstry with our co-host, Mr. Mike Wilson. Mike, how you doing? Tell them how they can chime in on Sound Booth Radio and Sound Booth TV.
Sure thing, Darren. I'm doing well, thank you. You can get in with us on Sound Booth Radio by just going to your iOS or your Google Play Store, downloading the Live 365 app. Once you download that app, just go to your search bar and type in Sound Booth Radio. 106.1. That'll get you on the radio side of Sound Booth Radio. And it watches right here on Sound Booth TV. Just go to your YouTube and type in Sound Booth Radio, or you can watch right here on Facebook Live, Sound Booth TV.
Well, Mike, we want to thank everybody for chiming in each and every week. This Tuesday, October the 19th, hasn't been a great day in the city of Tuscaloosa and Northport. But as always, we're glad everyone chimed in and Ken chimed in. We're going to have a very special day conversation tonight. I want to go ahead and make a few announcements before I go into our COVID update and things of that nature right quick. Kevin Show, our caller, and Carmelo, if you would, put up the Trunk or Treat flyer for us. Kevin Show is hosting the Trunk or Treat at 1513 12th Street, Northport, at the Robert Hassan Center on October the 31st. That's on Sunday, October the 31st, from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Volunteers are welcome to come park your cars, dress up, and hand out candy. And that's at the Hassan Center here in Northport. And that address again, 1513 12th Street, Northport, Alabama. Trunk or Treat, hosted by my good friend, Kevin Show. While we're on the announcement, we want to also go ahead and announce about the upcoming Stars Balloons creation. Elite Entertainment present Cancer Awareness Month giveaway. 100 cupcakes, 100 balloons, and more. Guest speaker is Onetha Bolden. This is Saturday, October the 23rd at 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at 1604 Greensboro Avenue here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And Mike, we hadn't really had a chance to talk about Cancer Awareness Month, Breast Cancer Awareness Month this month, but we appreciate Stars Balloon Creation presenting the 100 cups and 100 balloons and more giveaway on Saturday, October the 23rd. So great event to look forward to going to. One more announcement. On tomorrow, October the 20th, all are invited to the Tuscaloosa Community event, and this is from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. And the agendas is from 2:15 to 3 o'clock, financial literacy, 3:15 to 4 o'clock, understanding FAFSA, 4:15 to 5, entrepreneurship, and from 5:15 to 6 p.m., home buying. Now, from 6 to 6:30, they have community prayer with local pastors, and from 6:45 until, there's a town hall with Tuscaloosa District Attorney's Office, Tuscaloosa County Sheriff's Office, and Tuscaloosa Police Department. Note, this event will take place at the C.A. Fred campus of Shelton State Community College, adjacent to the McDonough Hughes Center. So I thought it was taking place at the McDonough Hughes Center, but it's taking place at the Shelton State Community College. We'll make sure on tomorrow, if you have questions, especially pertaining to our topic tonight, tomorrow will be a great chance to go and get those questions answered at Shelton State Community College at the Fred campus. And those hours are from 6:45 until 10. And this will be a great place to meet your district attorney, your sheriff, and your police department and ask questions there. I think last time they said comments and critics or something of that nature was taken, so I guess they took that off. Thank you for taking that off. Once again, let's give the COVID update right quick. Mike, it's just so much going on and disturbing today. Again,
This week, this whole week.
This
Actually.
whole week, yes. On the COVID update, thanks for Ronald Taylor for your COVID update. As of 2:31 today, 48 inpatients within the DCH health system are positive for COVID-19. 15 inpatient positive for COVID-19 being treated in ICU. 12 inpatient positive for COVID-19 are on ventilators. Of those being treated in the hospital, 11 are fully vaccinated and 37 are unvaccinated or not fully vaccinated. Of those in ICU, 0 are fully vaccinated and 15 are unvaccinated or not fully vaccinated. I want to say hello to Ms. Valada Page, Tammy DeGraffery, Daniel Van Horn, and everyone else that's chiming in with us tonight. As always, I try to say a prayer for everybody. If you would just take a moment. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day we never seen before and never will see again. Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for waking us up this morning, being with our families, wrapping your loving arms around us and protecting us. Heavenly Father, right now we're asking for guidance on all this violence that's going on in this community throughout this world. Right now, Heavenly Father, we want to go with the sick right now, Heavenly Father. Go with the families and show them that you're in charge. Heavenly Father, go with the bereavement families right now. Those who are suffering through grief of a loss of a loved one, go with them right now. Heavenly Father, I'm asking that you go with the families that are dealing with a crisis right now. Go with the Barnes family. Go with the Hunter family. Go with the Smith family right now, Heavenly Father. They all are going through right now a tragedy or a transition that's taking place right now. But we serve an awesome God, and we know you can make all things possible. We ask that you continue to wrap your arms around our families and Mike family and Carmelo family and everyone's family that's watching this. Go with Veronica and Jesse and all the other people, Heavenly Father. In your Son Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Man, I tell you, gets a call. Well, actually, I get a text early this morning about a dear friend of ours or a dear friend of mine. Their mother is one of the people that's in the hospital right now, and they don't know what way the tide gonna turn. And so, we want to pray for them, the Smith family. We want to make sure Miss Gloria is in our prayers right now. And then we get news about the young man from last week. Smart young man, intelligent, minding his own business, in his house, headphones on, ain't bothering nobody. And Lord behold, young man is killed for no reason, for no apparent reason. And then today, young man gets shot in Hay Court. I'm not sure what's the outcome of his injuries. That the family And then we have another tragedy that took place in our neighboring city right here in Northport, Alabama. Young lady, from my understanding, is deceased. It hits home. It's this tragedy continues to hit home on a daily basis. And we have to talk about it because it could be one of us or one of our family members next. So we need to talk about it. And
especially the situation where you're sitting at home, mind your own business on your iPad. You at your home where you're supposed to feel safe, and you try to hate.
Mike,
no longer with us.
I did the survey earlier today, and everybody said that murder was most definitely one of the worst crimes between drug charges and murder itself. Excellent example came out of this survey today, because today, and a lot of people use, we had an example, young grandmother charged with manslaughter of a grandchild, and the bond was set at $30,000. And we had a young man arrested, and the police recovered 5 pounds of marijuana and a stolen gun here in Tuscaloosa. A stolen Glock 45, matter of fact. In that article, the 20-year-old young black man, they hadn't posted it yet, but they charged him with possession of trafficking marijuana, certain person forbidden from possession of firearm, failure to affix a tax stamp, and second degree receiving stolen property. They hadn't posted it as a bond amount, but if y'all had to guess, and you listening to this show, they say one person is dead following a shooting at Hay Court Apartments. Oh my God. I don't know if this is a new one or from the earlier. That's from the earlier. They say the person is dead. Male subject is dead. But if you were listening or if you were watching this survey earlier, we got to talking about the bond amount. And just looking at comments from people when they posted the $30,000 bond for the elderly white female that committed manslaughter. What do y'all think the bond would be for this young man? I just read the charges out, and I'll read them again. Charged with trafficking marijuana, certain person forbidden from possession of firearm, failure to affix a tax stamp, and second degree receiving stolen property. Let me see what y'all come up with as far as guest members, what his bond would be. Because I was looking at the article, and I went to the jail website. It hadn't showed yet what his bond is as of, let me see. Nope, still ain't came up. Betty Mills said $150,000. Tank Irvin said $300,000, $400,000. Anybody else? Take a guess. What do we think this young man bond would be for trafficking marijuana, certain person forbidden to possess a firearm, receiving stolen property in the second degree? What will his bond be? He's a black male. He is a black 20-year-old black male that was arrested today in the city of Tuscaloosa, and a white female that committed manslaughter. They charged her with manslaughter of her grandchild, and her bond was $30,000. So what would this bond be for this young man, 20-year-old black male, charged with possession of receiving stolen property in the second degree, trafficking of marijuana, and all the others? Sylvester Beard says $350,000. Kevin Shobe said $100,000. Are y'all serious? Wait a minute. I don't know if Carmelo, if you're able to put up what I sent you about the bond schedule. Anthony Foster says 65. Are y'all? Come on, guys. That's what we think it should be. But I'm just gonna go ahead and put it out there.
You say about $500,000.
Yeah, 1.5 million. How about that? Brianna Wells said it. My daughter just said it. 1.5 million. If Carmelo, if you could put up the bail schedule on this, And then somebody said Daniel Van Horn said no bond.
That might be the case too. But I think that they'll probably give, because they know he probably ain't gonna be able to come up with that 10% of that $500,000 or that $1.5 million.
Okay, here's the, and I hope I sent it to him. I don't know if I sent it to him or not. I thought I sent it to him. I'm gonna send it to him, Carmelo. I want him to post the bail schedule. Let's see how can I send it to him right quick. Here's the bail schedule. Now, if you commit capital murder, your bond is set between $50,000 to no bond at all. That's capital murder. We're gonna talk about that. That's what we're making reference to about the young men that did the drive-by shooting. Murder. This is the bond schedule in Alabama. Murder, $15,000 to $150,000. A Class A felony. No, I'm gonna drop all the way down to drug manufacturing and trafficking. Drug manufacturing and trafficking is $5,000 to $1.5 million. A Class A felony is $10,000 to $60,000. Class B felony is $10,000 to $30,000. I'm sorry, $5,000 to $30,000. And Class C is $5,000. No, I read that wrong. Murder is $15,000 to $150,000. Class A felony $10,000 to $60,000. Class B is $5,000 to $30,000. Class C is $2,500 to $15,000. Drug manufacturing $5,000 to $1.5 million. And a Class D felony is $1,000 to $10,000.
So they put more emphasis on drug manufacturing and trafficking than they do on people's lives.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I'm gonna say that one more time. Yes, sir. And that was my argument.
That's just the state of Alabama now. So, you know what I'm saying? This is so crazy to me how that goes. It's almost like they almost saying, go ahead and kill somebody, man. You can get out. But you better not sell no drugs or traffic no drugs around here, because we're going to throw the book at you.
That's exactly what you're saying. This is coming from your state representatives, your lawmakers. This ain't just something, and it just went up a couple years ago. Because murder used to stop at $60,000. Carlos Vega said $350,000. I'm keeping my eye, and you know it's mighty strange. And maybe it was just me. Normally in these stories, they would say subject is in jail on $1.5 million or $600,000 or whatever. Lakeisha Davis said, "You asked what would it be, not what it should be." Right. I mean, what do you think? The bond? We just taking a guess. We just taking a guess on. Okay, let me see. Someone just sent it to me. Let's see. Oh, okay. She's telling me about the one dead in Norfolk shooting one day. Looking at the bond schedule, the bail schedule right here, and you can look this up for yourself. Capital murder is $50,000 to no bail at all. Murder is $15,000 up to $150,000. Class A, $10,000 to $60,000. Now that Class A could be robbery in the first degree, burglary in the first degree, things of that nature. But let's drop all the way down to drug manufacturing and trafficking. Who do drug manufacturing and trafficking going? Who is it going? I'm gonna take this caller. Who is it going to affect the most?
Basically,
I mean,
those people that doing milk, right? That's basically who they talking about. Milk, those people who cooking milk.
No, they talking about people. When I say drug manufacturing and trafficking, they're talking about trafficking of marijuana, cocaine, methamphetamines, any large quantity of trafficking of illegal controlled substances fall up under that guideline of 5,000 to 1.5 million.
Yep.
We got Tank on the phone with us. Tank?
What up, man?
Hey, thanks so much. What's going on, bro?
You said
okay. I dropped it just a little bit because this weed, I don't know how many, what's the name, but it's still gonna be into the hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, it was on.
It
was 5 pounds. I think it was 5.
Yeah, 5 pounds. They might not want to have $1 million for that 5 pounds.
Well, here's the thing about it. He had a weapon which was stolen. They discovered a weapon.
The gun with the already convicted felon, ain't none of it good.
No,
it's gonna be into. I might be back. I might stick to my first 3 to 400,000. But when I looked at the 5 pounds, that made me drop the price just still into the hundreds of thousands. But you know, it ain't gonna be no 40,000 to 50,000. But I was calling to go to with Mike's point. He made a great point.
Okay.
You're right, Mike. That's exactly what they want you to do. Get out and kill again, or get the people that you kill to kill you. That's why you can get out on the murder bond low. They keep the drug money high because you get money. You can move out their little pocket that they want you to stay in and move by what it is. Rich people, before they think this ain't a race. I'm talking about people with money.
Mm-hmm.
So they thought if you making money, they want to hold you down.
That's one way of getting it back, right? And that's one way of getting the money back. Here's a question. Tank, I'm glad you're on there. Me and Antonio and several people, I did a little survey earlier. He brought up an interesting topic about a fixed stamp.
Right.
Asphyxiation. Tax. Basically, he was telling the truth. In other words, but Tank, nobody answered this question. What if you did say you sold drugs, but you didn't get caught, and you send the state, the city, and the county the sales tax off what you sold? Would they accept the money, and would they question the receipt of it?
That to me, that's just a trap. Either way it goes, you know you can't go down there and get no damn and put it on there. You know you can't. That's the trap. That's something that they say you got to have, but you know, don't go down there and do it. Do not do it.
No, that'll be someone that's just plain right crazy. I would just say. But let's talk about these bonds. I mean, Tank, white female, $30,000 bond for manslaughter.
Right.
A perfectly example today, a 20-year-old black male trafficking of marijuana, only 5 pounds.
Right.
Listen.
That's why I said that. That's why I said maybe we could. You think they're $1 million for 5 pounds?
Only.
It won't stop me, but I don't know.
Only 5 pounds, as they say. So my question would be, if it's only 5 pounds, eventually must be a convicted felon. Had possession of or receiving stolen property in the second degree of a stolen Glock 45, and he's African American male. At least 500,000 to 1.5 million.
Shit. So you think I'm not too far with that 300 to 400? I said about 400.
Hold on, let me add this caller with us. All right, you in with us? You on with us too, caller?
Hey there.
Yes, sir.
Are we gonna kid ourselves? We know why he got the 1.5. Because at 1.5, we all seen first 48. We know what happened. When you got that 1.5, you're gonna tell it. That's why they give them that bond so they can sit there. Everybody else tell it.
That's right.
That's leverage, man. They call that police leverage.
Yeah.
That's
Yes,
leverage.
yes, but you know, at the same time, the ones that are doing right, if you pushing even 5 pounds, whoever, see, that's what the difference between now and back then.
Uh-huh.
Back then, you would have never said that long. Whoever the man would have said somebody down there to get you up out of there before, and your family was taken care of. Now, everybody out there on that, why there's no loyalty no more. That's why these folks, they sit there and look at that bond and go telling it everything they want to know. That's why you see these folks on First 48 with, I ain't never seen nobody go get waffles and fries and drink. You know you better tell it.
Let me add this caller too.
I was just listening to y'all, and it told us why it is. And I sit there and be watching, you can watch the Discovery Channel. Man, these folks murder their wives, and we talking about Caucasians now. Murder their wives and get 35 years. Yes. Black dude kill a black dude, man, he's gone for 50, 60 years.
Yeah, I got another caller on. Hold what y'all got. Go ahead, caller.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
What's going on?
Hey, I just wanted to speak on the point about how they make the charges from having worked inside.
Okay.
You know, we always wondered how race played a part in the bun, but now it's more open to what we used to question for why certain people get certain buns. So I just want to say this about how the bun is distributed.
Okay.
Whoever the supervisor is with whatever department it is, they're the one that make the charges in order to make what the bun is. So with that being said, you have some people that are making decisions about folks' buns that are pretty much prejudiced. And that's all I want to
say. And so what you're saying, the discretion of the officers, it shouldn't be for setting the bond.
Exactly, because we could never figure it out for the life of us when people come in with the same charge and one get charged less than the other. Now, but now it's more coming to the light, is being exposed. Now we can put 2 and 2 together that it's just the way the system is rigged to make our bonds higher for the exact same crime.
Now, that's what I have a problem with. Exactly what he's saying. You'll see people with the same charge, and a black person, a black male, his bond gonna be ridiculously higher than the white guy with the same charge. Yes, charges make them out the same. If you're gonna do it, if you're gonna be high, they got. If it's gonna be medium, make it medium.
And that's something I think should be dealt with from the Department of Justice, because it's no way people should have the same crime and charge different bonds. But you know, you couldn't do nothing but charge them and book them. But we was always like, how they come up with this with the same charge? So.
Right. I'll give you that right there is unacceptable.
There again, the discretion of that law enforcement officer or the influence to the warrant clerk of what a bond should be is being questioned here. That's exactly what's being questioned.
It's being manipulated.
Exactly.
By the person that's making that final decision.
But the guidelines are there, and once again, Carmelo, put it up. Let people look at this, because this is a very important flyer.
So the guidelines are set, and so they give the other people the lowest amount they can on the guidelines and push us to the highest threshold of the guidelines.
The guidelines are set, and I'm gonna read this, and you can read it for yourself. No. This is coming from the Alabama Rules of Criminal Procedure, Rule 7, which is in the Alabama Code. Rights to release on one's personal recognizance or on bond. That's where we're coming from. 7.2. Before conviction, any defendant charged with an offense bailable as a matter of right may be released pending or during trial on his or her personal recognizance or on an appearance bond, unless the court or magistrate determine that a release will not reasonably assure defendant's appearance as required, or that the defendant being at large will pose a real and present danger to others or to the public at large. If such a determination is made, the court may impose the least onerous condition or conditions contained in Rule 7.3b that will be reasonably assured that the defendant appearance or that will eliminate or minimize the risk of harm to others or to the public at large. In making a such determination, the court may take into account the following: the age, the background and family ties, relationship, and circumstances of the defenders, the defendant reputation, character, and health, the defendant's prior criminal record, including prior releases on recognizance or on secured appearance bonds and other pending cases, the identity of responsible members of the community who will vouch for the defendant's reliability. Come on now. Violence or lack of violence in the alleged commission of the offense, the nature of the offense charged, the apparent probability of the conviction, and the likely sentence insofar as these factors are relevant to the risk of non-appearance. 7, the type of weapon used: knife, pistol, shotgun, sawed-off shotgun. A gun is a gun, isn't it? 22 kill, right?
It sure will.
Threats made against victims and or witnesses, the value of property taken during the alleged commission of the offense, whether the property allegedly taken was recovered or not, damage or lack of damage to property allegedly taken, residence of the defendant, including consideration of real property ownership and length of residence in his or her place of domicile. In cases where the defendant is charged with a drug offense, evidence of selling or pusher activity should indicate a substantial increase in the amount of bond. Wait a minute now. Y'all, let me read that one more time. In cases where the defendant is charged with a drug offense and evidence of selling or pusher activity should indicate a substantial increase in the amount of bond. Y'all ain't hear me. Y'all ain't hear what I said right there.
That right there says 1.5 million right there.
So
all that sounds good, Darren. That what's in writing, all that sounds good. But the question is, who double checks the people that create these bonds? Nobody. That's an issue.
This is set from your legislative. This is made from your legislative body that put this together.
Hey, Darren, I think what the caller's saying is they're still not saying we want to know why it's the same crime in the same instances. Now, but reading what you just said, the debt gonna always be stacked against us. Okay, y'all got the same crime. Get your third charge or second charge higher. Okay, you said you gonna whoop everybody ass and kill them when they were taking you to jail. 3 higher. And like you said, they're just manipulating that. You ain't meaning that. Look, you're a weed dealer, so you ain't gonna kill nobody.
Now, there.
Yes, sir.
Question.
Sure.
Who is there?
Oh, this is Kevin.
Okay, go ahead, Kevin.
Hey, Daryl.
Yes, sir.
I know with me dealing with my family members and different stuff with it and other things, the DA is one-on-one with the detectives now. So that bond is set up for you to do what I just said about earlier. For you to sit there and think about it. And when mama says she can't get you out, when grandma ain't putting up the house, daddy ain't nowhere to be found, your only turn to is to make that deal.
I just told you, leverage.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting. But at the same time, white boy Johnny ain't got nobody to give. He just got the dealer. They don't want them. They want the people that know who the upper high is.
Mm-hmm.
So this kid in there, whoever he is or whatever, gets locked up 5 pounds. He got that 5 pounds from somewhere. Or
Right.
it's about 100 pounds somewhere. That's
Mm-hmm.
who they want.
Right.
Yeah, they'll move him to Kansas City. If he know the big wig, they'll put him in protective custody and put him out there in Kansas somewhere. Well, maybe about 5 black people. So you won't.
No, you better tell him. Now they're gonna say they're gonna look out for you, and they're gonna feed you right back to the streets. That's how you know who sneakers out there run around now.
Nah, them the ones giving up these little nobodies, and they just they rotate.
All right.
I'm just not there. Am I right or wrong? You give up the big dog, they gonna sip you.
Both you're right. I'm gonna just put it that way, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. But we know, guess what season it is? It's October, y'all. You better believe it, these folks getting out to go make these kids man. There you go, they coming. And I ain't talking about the ones that do that every year. That's just that. I'm talking about this that are feeding folks big fish. But the big fish, they take you up the stream, and it's over with.
Well,
and them folks may not go down until next year, this time next year.
Here, I think what people are listening for and what we got to come to a solution about is why is the drug charge is so more important to the lawmakers than the loss of life, human life.
I think Tank said it the best, because the drug dealers, they making money, and the one thing they don't want is for them drug dealers to move into the neighborhoods that they live in. And they don't want them over there in the towns. They don't want them over there in the yacht club. They don't want them, and I'm just talking about down here. Now, anywhere else in the state, it's probably the exact same way. Look, they don't want you staying where they staying. As long as you staying over there on your side of town doing what you're doing and everything, it is what it is.
Damn.
Yes, sir.
But you can't afford to live there though.
Go ahead.
Exactly.
Go ahead. Tim.
Guess what else you said earlier? You said how? You said why is the drug charge more higher than anything else? Because they care about money. They showed you with drugs. They showed you with COVID. Money. Oh yeah, we got to keep going because it's money being not made. We got to go. It's money. That's the word. It's money.
Girl.
Yes, sir.
Hey, girl. I can tell you, I ain't lived up here too long, maybe 10 years, but up here might be different. But down in Mobile, them rich folks, I don't use color because it's rich folks, white and black and Asian and everything else, but the rich folks don't care. They know what you're doing down there. Long as you come in, like you said, it's about the dollar. Long as you breaking them off and paying them, you ain't gonna have no problem. Because if I'm going back there so you understand. You know about Mobile. West Mobile used to be clean. It used to be nothing going on. But go down there now, because all the old dope boys that was from Princeton and everywhere else live out there.
They're in a good
They
neighborhood.
didn't care. Long as they was everybody was getting paid. It's a paid thing, man. That's why that stuff like that, because
it's paid.
It's paid. You pay off them folks. They don't care. One thing about them folks is you feed them money. Guess what? You can live next to them. They ain't stupid. They don't care. Then they still protected because guess what? I'm being protected because you paying me, so you gonna keep me protected. But for nobody else dummy come around. They don't care about that.
Then the other thing, like you said earlier, about watching Discovery Channel. Man, when you watch these things, I done watch Clinton, CIA, Feds, and all them. Guess what they saying? Hey, the war on drugs is ridiculous. It will never stop. It cannot stop. People in America like drugs, so it will always be drug dealers. No matter how many you lock up, it's never gonna stop. Never.
Anthony Fauci says it's revenue.
It ain't all these years of being locked up. The black are locking us up unfair, giving us football number years. The drug problem ain't even had a dent in it. It ain't even moved it. Ask law enforcement. They'll tell you.
It still
exists. It has not moved nowhere in the United States. Where you can go where it's drug free, it's relaxing. You cool. Nowhere. No town, no city.
Not even in the jails.
Not even. You can't go nowhere.
Look at the Dave Chappelle show. The little special he just did. He said it perfect. He said when it was crack, it was all funny. Everybody said no, say no to drugs, and they was doing all that stuff. Now at the flip side, the meth is affecting them. He said, shoot, I'm sitting around like they was. Well, say no to drugs. You know what I'm saying? But now it's a problem because it's affecting their daughters and young sons.
Yeah.
Long as it was crack and dealing with the poor neighborhood, all they kept saying was say no to drugs. That didn't work. As they see they were locking us up by the millions, locking us up because it was a habit. Now that their nephews, nieces, or whatever else is on it, now it's a medical condition.
They get they're like the opioid crisis. They call it a crisis now. When black folks were just going out there getting all the lower tabs and selling them, it was fine. But now when they start to get on
it's a medical condition now.
Yeah, it's a whole crisis now. Oh, well, you know,
and it's a way to get them off. The system though, it's the way to get them off now, though. It's a way to get them off because they say it's a medical. They go to rehab for 6 months and come out the same person.
But listen, that's what I'm about to tell y'all. Remember, like we talked the other week, sometimes all of us on the phone so we understand, and we got a law enforcement man on the phone, a retiree, and another person working at the jail. Guess what, y'all? Guess what everybody know? Some of it do be the media. Because listen to what we all agreeing on. You go to rehab, you come out, you still on drugs. So the media saying all this help. It don't work. Drugs ain't never stopped since drugs came. It's not going to stop. That's the reality of it. It's not going to stop. Somebody going to use something, and somebody going to sell it to them. Somebody. Jail don't scare people. People been getting locked up for drugs since it started. And people still sell them because people still use it.
And the cycle continues.
It continues. That right there, how? You can't, it's not good. Just y'all think about it. Think about it. But you're right. We ain't just talking about alcohol, liquor, beer, and marijuana. We talking about hardcore drugs. All the drugs it's gonna continue. Man, I watched that thing in Philadelphia, man. These people are bent over for that fentanyl. They just, you think it's something on their back, but the way it got them leaning over, and they just laid out on the street.
And it's killing them.
Oh my God.
And it's killing them. And it's killing them.
And it's killing them. It's killing them. The world, man, the world soft. The bill is just selling it, they dying. It don't matter. You talk to the people. Look at the YouTube video. Look up Philadelphia, North Philadelphia on Kensington Avenue. Look that up. And just look at how you wouldn't even believe how it looked in 2021 in Philadelphia. And guess what? Like your man talking about North Philadelphia, wherever part of Philadelphia where the rich blacks at, jumping in night. Where the rich white people at, jumping in night. But where the people that ain't, war zone. It's all over y'all. I would let town get bigger, so the way we get bigger, the crime's gonna be more and more hate. There's more and more guns out in the streets. Guns everywhere. They readily available. Shit, crime coming.
And it's interesting you mentioned that Tuscaloosa is getting bigger. It grew approximately 10,000 more people from census of 2010 to 2020. And, they're saying the increase, of course, caused there were more black people of color compared to whites. And now they're talking about redistricting, from a state level as well as down to your city council districts. So it's going to change. So now it's to the point where they believe that Tuscaloosa growth has gotten to the point where it will be for majority African American council seats.
Yep, I can see it. We almost we teetering towards the left town,
But there, that's because you gotta remember what they cut out. BET, they don't have to wrap it up commercials no more.
Man, you crazy, man.
They bought out BET, now they put on there. You know what they show on there. I ain't talking because I ain't getting them folks coming.
No, they put that. We went from wrap it up commercials if your partner got HIV and you don't, you still can knock them down. Are y'all serious? We went from wrap it up to if your partner got. I'm walking by the TV one day. I said, wait a minute, did the TV just say? No, don't. Nah, you don't have to worry if your partner has HIV and you don't have it. Y'all still can have intercourse. What?
Promoting it.
A lot.
Yeah.
Promoting it.
Well, I got a partner, my homegirl in Florida, that's dealing with it, and I told her how crazy is it now. You tell me to deal with it. If you got HIV, I know I'm gone. And what is that to deal with? They can give you medicine where it won't show up on a test, but they can't cure it. Now, how crazy that sound? Let me stop. We don't fly up. Nobody come out me off.
DeAndre X said the only way to beat this system is to stay out of it. He said the only way to beat this system is to stay out of it.
Right, that's true.
The only way.
The the court system, the best way is to stay out of it. That's the best you can do. It is true.
Now, you know, and I'm
glad unless you pull it over.
We got
happen to be back. It could be your unlucky day. You could just get pulled over by a traffic stop trying to stay out of it. You know, you go sideways fast.
Now,
one thing about us, we don't have to have no pistol now. We could just be. He was reaching for his wallet. I thought it made him.
I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Hey, I get humble. Pull me over. Yes, about it. What you said, sir?
You know, but let me bring this point out. Let me bring this point out right quick while we're still talking. Capital murder, we're seeing more capital murder charges than we ever seen that I can even think of. When you saw capital murder, but you know, here's what capital murder charges do. It's only two options if you're convicted.
Life
or death.
Look, can we be real? We know why they're doing this.
What you mean?
Because they work more money than sitting on the street. They work more money sitting in them jails. Come on, let's just keep it real. We know that's why they turn around every blue moon. Oh, everybody got nonviolent little crimes. We done held y'all for 10 years, made money. We're going to release that out because we know you're going to do something else.
But he's talking about on the Capitol. You don't think it should be?
Well, no. I'm just saying they throwing it out there because it's incarceration because it's money. It's getting paid.
It always happens in the industry to make money.
Yeah, that's it.
You should get the industry to run prison.
Yeah.
Why do you think Governor Kay Abbey wanted to have these 3 super prisons built so bad?
Because he got
stopped.
stopped.
Trying to figure that one out. Because we ain't got no people to work the prisons we got.
Well, because it's privatized. That's what they're trying to bring them in and privatize now. Look at Jordan. Jordan made more money in prison than he ever did playing basketball.
That's not that Michael Jordan.
Jordan got, he's vested in a private prison.
That's not that Michael Jordan. That just said that. They just said that.
Okay, just clean it up, whatever you want to do. That's what I know that money flipping to. That man ain't making no money with Charlie. They ain't won no game.
I want to talk about the capital murder. I want to explain or make sure we all understand about capital murder. We had a capital murder charge back here. The young lady who they said killed the man with the child was in his arm.
Mm-hmm.
Capital murder. And the situation that happened on Friday, the capital murder charge, and why it was capital murder rather than murder. And we have to understand when we start talking or trying to educate our people, we got to understand that murder has certain criteria compared to capital murder. For example, murder committed by or through the use of a deadly weapon, fired or otherwise used within or from a vehicle. So in other words, a drive-by shooting in Alabama and someone is murdered justified you being charged with capital murder. And to add along with that, murder committed by or through the use of a deadly weapon, fired or otherwise used from outside a dwelling, which is a house, while the victim is in a dwelling, while a person is in the house. So the young man that was inside the house on last week and the firing of the bullets inside the home justified the charge of capital murder. Capital murder. And then murder when the victim is less than 14 years of age is capital murder. Capital murder. Capital murder. We're having more charges of capital murder going on in this city, and I don't have a problem with it, because if your crime, if you do the crime, you must fit the time.
Yep.
But we're having more capital murder charges, and I'm wondering what the charge is going to be in Northport, because earlier the article read something about 2 vehicles shooting from one another.
Yeah.
And then going around
the chief.
Huh?
The chief was involved.
The who?
They said they were shooting at the chief. That's what I read. It was the chief was involved. They were shooting at the chief, and the chief shot back.
The chief of police?
Yeah.
I ain't read that one yet.
Well, I was reading. They said it was Chief. The chief that took Northport.
Yeah, I know Chief Burton, but I'm saying I hadn't seen anything that relayed information that he was involved in shooting. The article I read is that it was 2 individuals that were fired, that were shooting. Now, the chief might have been involved in it, but I didn't see anything where it said that.
I hadn't heard about the chief either. Let me get my other phone and pull it up. Hold on.
And then it said went over to what Fieldcrest, something in relation to Fieldcrest also.
Yeah, I think they did say that one of them. They were saying that. Where they found the lady in Fairfax, over there in Fairfax, I think it was. Yeah, she was involved in it. Yeah, she had died. Yeah.
I'm looking. If anybody have any more valuable information, once again, the young man that was shot in Hayes Court today, news reporting articles say it's been announced dead, pronounced to be dead.
She died?
That's what the news article I got earlier.
You come up from earlier today? Yeah, he died.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that was a co-worker of friend of mine. He said they thought I knew he was in surgery, but I didn't know he died.
Yeah, so this is the 4th homicide in Tuscaloosa since Friday.
So Daryl, the one in Hayes Court, that would be considered murder and not capital murder.
I don't know the circumstances as of yet. All I know is they say it was a shooting. But if it was just a result of a shooting or an assault in the first degree, that would be considered murder. That's correct. But the question, we need to get an understanding about murder, manslaughter, and capital murder. And of course, we're talking about the bail bond. And as I said earlier, and as I pulled it up, the discretion, the discretion or the influence, and Daniel probably still on here, the discretion and the peer pressure sometimes up on warrant clerks makes a decision of what the bond will be. If it's within the guidelines. Once again, if it's within the guidelines. In other words, you could probably be a first time offender and get charged with say you fired your gun and somebody got shot and they died from it. There's nothing saying they can't give you your bond at $5,000. There's nothing saying it can't be $5,000. It's saying $5,000 to $150,000.
Oh boy. Other documents and files show a witness telling investigators the home was shot into by a vehicle with several people.
Somebody TV was kind of loud.
I think they're watching the news or something of that nature. But
yes, me looking at it. They show the dudes in the car. You know, they got the video tape of the guys who did the shoot in the house in the car. Went to the gas station. Got some radio stations.
Over in Northport?
No. Northport, old girl was fine. I'm talking about from, the Friday incident.
Oh, okay. Friday incident. Okay. I'm trying to get more information relating to the one in Northport.
They found it. The girl was on. It was shooting at the windows. They said they drove up to Fieldcrest. They found the girl in a SUV, deceased. Another person got hit. They looking for the suspect. Where they need information on suspects.
Now here's something interesting. When murder committed, like I'm pretty sure y'all have seen when a subject go in a store and commit a robbery, and two subjects go in the store and they committing robbery, and one gets shot and killed. They charge the other suspect with murder over the store clerk. You know that, right? We
yeah, I knew that. I always knew that.
Store clerk kills the guy, and the other suspect get charged with murder.
Yeah, didn't that happen a couple of years ago over at the apartments off Skyland? Them twins.
It happened. It happened twice here in
got shot and killed, and the other twin had to go.
It happened on McMarlin too.
Yeah, it happened at the racetrack right there on my phone.
I remember that. I remember that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they robbed the dude. The dude shot and killed one of them, and the other one had to go to jail for it.
Yeah, you can't get charged. You agree with that, Darren?
Yeah, well, hey.
Me too. Y'all was there together.
I can't.
If y'all hadn't did that, y'all wouldn't get in the ticket. You wouldn't be dead. You got armed robbery. It's still an armed robbery.
Join the conversation once again, 205-826-7661 or 310-6067. Join the conversation. Let's hear what your opinion. Anthony, let's see. Anthony Foster say, DeAndre is correct, my brother. Limitation and the need for acceptance is a real problem for our youth, and no expectation of accountability is major. A lot of people saying money. Curtis saying money. Brianna say money. DeAndre say before a lot of things change, media, music, and movies will have to change what it glorifies.
Yeah, that's true.
But there, I remember we watched movies. Didn't mean we went out and did it.
That's true.
But the influence. But you know what?
It is. But like I get what he's saying when he's saying like it does kind of glorify. Like almost every rap song right now today is glorifying. Selling, shooting.
I don't know. There's a lot of things happening now.
Right. What I'm about to say is, Mike is right. Go back to what we said earlier. The media put it out because there's a lot of rappers that don't glorify that, but they ain't on the forefront.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No,
yeah, you would hear about people that there's like fun loving and doing everything and.
Well, yeah, that's you don't mean you got to be no fun loving and happy go lucky. You just ain't got to glorify about it.
But let me tell y'all something though. Guess what though? We don't support the good ones. We only support the ones that got gold chain, want to rap, talk about selling dope. Them the ones that the black people support. Like I tell y'all, look up Toby Nawabi. He's blowing up, making stupid money. He's going to be in the next Transformer, but he started everything on his own. He's not with no label, so can't no label tell him what he can do. But he has his wife. When I'm telling y'all, he represents his wife and his kids in every video. He don't cuss. He's one of the best rappers out right now, but he doesn't even cuss. But he has his wife, his cousin, his family in every video. And but we don't push guys like that because guess what? The ones that make the decisions in the offices don't want to push that. That don't sell. But the one thing about it is he's being connected because of all this other violence going on. Everybody else is being discarded. And so he's being pushed up because he's talking clean music, family oriented, and he's that. But we got to get behind it and support people like that. He's out of Houston, Texas. But we support these other guys that are rapping about stuff they're not even living. You got guys rapping about I'm always with my gun, and then they get caught without a gun and get shot.
Yeah.
Somebody just sent me a text message saying there's been another shooting in Cottondale right now.
God.
What you know? The
world is going on around here.
It's what a shooting in Tuscaloosa.
Hey, we got KP on the line with us. Go ahead, K.
No, I was just joining in and trying to catch up, man. I was just listening in on Facebook, but I don't know if I was behind or not. But what's the subject now?
We're talking about this violence, and we're talking about the fact that the bail bonding system, the schedule, is set so differently, where human life bond is set at $10,000 to $150,000, but a 5-pound marijuana trafficker caught with a gun or receiving stolen property, how much would you say that bond would be?
Probably $250,000.
He said $250. I can't wait till they post it, because normally when a person get arrested and they make this article, they normally say the subject is in jail on such and such amount of bond. But it's just it's coincidental, I guess, because today I did the survey. Is it coincidental today that because I did the survey about which crime is worse, murder or the drug trafficking, felony drug trafficking, that they didn't post how much this young man bond is? And both incidents took place today. Now, the young lady,
they watching right.
The young lady with $30,000 for manslaughter that killed her grandson or grandchild. I don't know if it was a boy or a girl. And then we got a 20-year-old black male that got caught with 5 pounds of marijuana, charged with trafficking of marijuana, receiving stolen property in the second degree, and the other charge of a fixed stamp charge.
The drug stamp.
The drug stamp, yeah. So they hasn't posted his bond, but I'm just speculating. Certain person forbidden to have a weapon also. That charge was in there too. So he got 4 felonies. And out of receiving stolen property in the second degree, I think that's a Class C felony. So let me make sure.
Darryl, what was the guy's name?
Hold on. I'll tell you in just a second, because it's public information. So it's on the news. It's on TPD website also.
Well, you know, fellas, they pretty much marginalized the African American community. You know, it's like Mike said. You know, Mike had said something last week. You know, we was touching base on the NFL with Gruden, and you know, I thought about what Mike said about, you know, when they had really put a lot of pressure on Gruden. It was
like it wasn't until the LGBTQ situation was brought into light, and the more at first hand I was like, well, they was gonna get them anyway. But I think the more I had sat on it, and Mike was on to something. He was on to something, Mike.
Let me interrupt you right quick and give you the name right quick just before you finish your statement. DeAndre Barron, 20, was charged with trafficking marijuana, certain person forbidden from possession of firearm, failure to affix a tax stamp, and second-degree receiving stolen property. And this was posted at 6/22. So normally you could go on the website and see a charge by now, and have an idea.
What was his last name? Barron?
Barron, Barroon.
He might be like Buddy saying, he might be in cooperation mode too right now too. There.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to say they might.
Don't forget, they hold him like that. Don't forget, he might be in cooperation mode right now.
Okay. Okay, Jim.
With White, come on.
I know who got it. He over here.
Hey, one thing I know, don't never say we won't come home.
Shoot, tell me about it.
With Brick, come home. I don't know.
And he definitely not on the thing yet. So
right. So ain't no telling where he at. Like you said, man, you can get $1 million bond. Shit, you ain't got but £5, and they might not be all yours of the $5. Oh, shoot, I don't know. I don't know the situation, so I don't know.
They mess around, got a whole plate of Archibald in front of that man.
Right. Man, you crazy, cuz. He said a whole plate of Archibald.
Okay, so receiving stolen property in the second degree is a class. Make sure I get it right. I don't like to think, a class C felony. A class C felony, according to the bail schedule, $2,500 to $15,000. So they can only max out on that charge $15,000.
Right.
Okay. They can max that one out. Another charge, I think the tax is a class C, but me, of course, like to make sure. Let me see, forbidden person.
Well, hey there.
Mm-hmm.
I sure hate I missed last week.
Well, yeah, they was talking. They're talking. Mike had the culture talk on certain person for possession. Let's see. That's a long charge.
But I think that each one of them charges they're gonna add it all the way up, and it's gonna wind up being pretty close to. And they might try to max out each one of the charges that he got, and if each one of them maxed out at 20,000. He real close to being over. It's gonna definitely be over $100,000, I think.
It's gonna be over 100. That traffic is gonna have him over 100 in itself.
Alone, yes.
Yeah, I'm putting traffic right there. I'm gonna put him at pretty close to 300,000, 400,000.
The traffic might be a coordinator.
I'm sorry. I didn't hear you, Danny.
I said, I want to applaud you, because if you hadn't brought that to people's attention, they would have slapped whatever charges they wanted to on him. But now they see that people are paying attention. They got to make sure it's going to stick. Thank you. Well, salute to you, my brother.
We gotta continue to share valuable information, and by no means I'm condoning any wrongdoing or committing a crime or anything. But we want to make sure. Here's what touched me one time. Here's what touched me recently. When I see convictions for first-time offenders, sometimes getting prison compared to some getting no time, probation, slap on the hand. That's kind of disturbing. But here's what this means to us, though, guys. I'm talking to each one of us on this phone line and the people that's listening. Politics plays a role in your daily livelihood, indirectly or directly. And what I mean by that, it might not be you. It could be a family member that's getting railroaded because you're allowing someone that you didn't even care about, concerned about voting or not voting for, to make a life decision on you or a family member or a friend. Because you had no greatly concern about the person that we just let walk into a position that makes a determination of your family or friend livelihood. Now, things happen. Don't get me wrong. Incident happens. Mama and them got trapped on drugs, not intentionally, but sister and them got caught on meth, and mama getting on crack, but mama got to go to Tutwiler, sister go to treatment. Let me correct that. Mama and them, I'm talking about us African American people, mama and them go to Tutwiler. Suzanne goes to treatment. Do the name make sense to you? I have a problem with that. And those persons that make that decision that Susan go to treatment and mama and them go to Tutwiler. Tutwiler is the women's prison when I'm in terms, and people that don't know. Mama and them is mama and them, I'm talking about us, how we talk about our own family member. Riri and Janie. They are moms, eventually they're young mothers, but they going to Tutwiler because they was on crack and committed a crime. But Riri committed a crime. I mean, Suzanne did a crime, but she goes to treatment. Do that not hurt y'all? I mean, do that not?
You want everything to be go straight down the middle,
but it's not.
As sentencing go, as far as the charges go, or bond goes, everything should be uniform. So why is it not? And then
there's no watchdog. There's no watchdog.
Who say that again? Who said that? Jessica.
Yeah.
Jessica said no watchdog. There's no accountability to no one to determine everything is fair. Justice is not fair, y'all.
Not. You just think like you hold the scale.
It's not fair. Never
think about it. What I was saying, think about it. Think about this. And not to really, hone in on police officers and whatnot, but it's strange that police officers can have been known to draw up false charges on African Americans for decades. But even when there's a camera video of them doing wrong, it's still almost darn near impossible for us to get a conviction. I mean, just think about that's absolutely the truth right there, Jesse. And when it comes down to the situation, we just had one several weeks, well, about a month ago, with the young lady over in Hayes Court getting jumped on by 2 police officers. And then because it was not a police cam, it was we got to do some investigating. Right. The cameras that we saw, it don't tell the whole story. Basically, man, like right now, if you record something, that's supposed to be the end all be all. They convict people based on a camera, right? But when it can be used to acquit somebody, it's not everything that you see. It's not how how what you see on the camera is not the whole entire story. Right. So yeah, that's complete truth right there. I cite what's his name? EJ up in Hoover at the Galleria a couple of years ago during Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. He was shot in the back 3 times. He never even saw them police officers shoot him. But it was considered a just kill. He wasn't firing a gun, nothing. And nothing else came from that particular case. It was on camera.
Look, Mike.
What everybody saw, but then they waited before they released the footage.
Well,
and then say that they had no time to say that they were police officers. He had his gun pulled, and they thought that he was an active shooter, so they just went ahead and shot him. Is that procedure?
But and then you think about it, is it policy and procedure to shoot a man in the back? Unless he has already displayed deadly force prior to that. It's understandable, with a deadly weapon, with a gun or something. He or she has attacked and assaulted someone with a knife or a gun, and they are fleeing with the possibility that they may do it again. Understandable. But if that's not the case, and you just come on the scene and someone is fleeing, shoot them in the back, and then it's all determined a justifiable shooting. That's crazy. It's just crazy,
Somebody and I'm gonna, go ahead before I make this comment.
I hate it. I missed last week, bro. I would just bring it up, like the things they make us go out and do. Like, have you ever noticed they only expose people that they're tired of dealing with, and they throw them to us and we shred them up? Because think about this: if we're gonna do it to people that use the N-word, and we're gonna mute them, or we muting all the R. Kellys of the world for doing what they do. So what about these ones that have been in movies doing documentaries of their own selves, calling African American ball players niggas? Why if we went down to Miami and told Pat Riley he need to quit? I'm just asking. Pat Riley was on the rep team when it was the Texas Southern squad. He was calling them boy niggas. This is documented.
Mm-hmm.
They do it in the movie.
Well,
I'm just saying, if we're going to pick and choose, if we're going to go back 10 years on emails on Groove, we going back, everybody that did something back in the day, I'm just saying I feel more comfortable. Let's attack everybody. Let's get them all and sit them down. You don't need to be ahead of this school. You don't need to be ahead of that. You were saying this back in the day when you were 20 years old, if we're going to hold everybody accountable.
One thing.
And that's why they laughing, because we pick and choose who we want to take out.
Well, here's the thing, and DeAndre X said it best, and he keep bringing it out. The media determines the pressure of politics or procedures that will be followed. If the media said, or even headlines say, brought up perfect examples of what we just had. This 20-year-old young man with the charges he had, and the grandmother that got charged with manslaughter. We're looking at the same day, same activities of felonies. But why is it the African American young man, if the media can continue to drill this,
right?
Newspaper,
TV, consistently, every day, mentioning
so it will bring considered more heinous than the grandmama,
right?
And then when it's all said and done, they're gonna probably try to figure out the way how she didn't really mean to kill her grandchild or whatever.
But did you
what's
see
more
the
heinous
comment?
than a grandmama killing a grandchild? That's the heinous crime right there.
Read the comments. I've been reading the comments of other stories such as that. And they will attack. I mean, people comments are very attacking.
Oh, yeah.
Man, you can go on there and you can be the nicest person tomorrow, but you can be the worst hated individual if you caught up on anything that's not society approved.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. The word society approved. And if the media decide that, okay, we want to headline this particular case scenario of the grandmother again tomorrow, more heinous comments, more hatred, more people so mad about this and that. And then one more day. Let's take the young men that just got caught with the capital murder charge. Man, read if you read some of the comments, go to TPD page on I'm glad they caught him. Now the thank you, TPD. You did your job. Now it's up to the judges and district attorney to do their job. You know, just read into some of the comments. And some things it just hatred anyway. You got some people saying something that really didn't have anything to do with it. Okay, Black Lives Matter. Where are you now?
Right.
You know.
I ain't wait to say something like that. But, I mean,
the
keyboard give a lot of people courage.
Man.
You can be what you want to be on the internet.
Well, look, look how we look at it. It's so crazy that it's a community of people that choose to do something, have more rights. Like America, look what we did. Asian American, he signed that thing about hatred and all that. It's like America just want to wipe away what happened to African Americans. Yes, they do. And we don't want to talk about it, but guess what? It's a community of people that have more rights than we do. You know, you talk about one of them hurt their feelings, you through. They can call us a nigga, and it's cool. Yeah, Gruden resigns his job for saying big lips. Okay, that at the end of the day, the man had $100 million contract and worked for 4 years of it. Absolutely. So he got 40 years.
He's not one for anything. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But look,
that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying it's crazy. You can't. They have more power than we ever can, but we don't fight for our own self. I don't understand why.
One of the main reasons I see that I feel that the reason why we are as a people, Black people, are so marginalized is because, wait for it, reparations. If it gets pushed and pushed and pushed, and America starts acknowledging it, then they can no longer dismiss it. And believe you me, those Republicans do not want to spit out not one red cent to Black America for all that they've done to our ancestors in the past and what they're owed to our ancestors, which we would receive. They don't want that. You know, that would create almost a even playing field. You know. No, Jesse, I'm gonna correct you right there. If they paid reparations for what was done to African Americans, it wouldn't be equal. We would probably surpass them financially at this particular moment in time. A lot of the old wealth that's out there right now, the old money, they made their money off African Americans, and they still rich because of it. So if you pay reparations to them, they will to African Americans. A lot of African Americans will probably be well over that old money, which also in turn means that power will have shifted. The shift of power will go. Exactly. If we do that down here in Tuscaloosa, for instance, if we had more people down here that had more money that put it back into Tuscaloosa, for instance, the old money in Tuscaloosa cannot stand it, and the power shift would be traumatic. it would be traumatic.
Absolutely.
Because that's why Tuscaloosa is the same way it has been for so many years. It grows little by little because old money don't want to go nowhere.
Mm-hmm. I tell you, that's my outtake on it all is that we're such a high risk when it comes to admitting the wrong that has been done to our people and what is owed to our people. You know, they go, building up on, like, just take for instance the LGBTQ community. You know, I have nothing against gay and lesbian people, nothing whatsoever. We all, all of us probably got someone gay in their family. I don't care. All of us on this phone probably got someone that's gay, at least one person in their family that's gay. And I don't think you not love them, so that's not the issue. But when you think about it, they've just come on the scene with, coming out, and already they get more recognition for when they're being violated than we are. And we've been in this struggle forever.
And not only that, it's also in other races. You see, the Asian race, when they were beating up on them, immediately they try to draft up something to kind of protect them. Yeah. There's no love for the African American. It's just
if they do that. If they absolutely right. What happened to the lynching laws that they tried to get passed? They won't even pass that.
Man, if they do that, you're looking at legal ramifications to follow, and they know it. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of it all. Is why there's so much opposition against it. What else? It's money. Money is everything leads back to money.
Then it's fear. You're right.
But money, most of all, fear of losing money, but it all goes back to money. This country is a, remember, this is a capitalistic country.
Absolutely.
And even capitalism has really overstepped its boundaries in a lot of ways, because it was utilized to build the country way back in colonial times, because they needed individuals to come up with great ideas, and they weren't going to stop them from prospering off of it, because it was not going to be set up like over in Europe, where they come from, in Great Britain, where they came from, where everything went back to the monarchs, but they set it up over here for any individual to capitalize off of whatever it is they created. These people don't want to give that up. If they start acknowledging us and all the faults and wrong they have done to the African American community, not only us, but indigenous people also, because they didn't lay them back to the wayside, it will be a great power shift in this country. They're already prepping themselves for losing the majority and turn into the minority, from the majority to the minority in the next 10, 15 years.
There's already a power shift happening.
I'm just saying, it's quite obvious, it's quite obvious.
Well, they won't allow that power shift to happen without a fight. That's why they got all these voter registration laws going out right now, saying that
there you go.
We're not going to allow everybody to come up here to these polls.
There you go.
It has happened now twice. Right. When all African American people decide to go out and vote in force,
yes,
you can see a change.
They'll never win. They will never win. They'll never win.
Absolutely. And I wish that African Americans can see this. They wanted to do this with Barack Obama. They went out to the polls for Barack Obama. Barack Obama won so easily, it wasn't funny.
It wasn't funny.
And I watched that documentary on that too. I watched the documentary on that. It was like, and I don't know if y'all seen it. I don't know if you've seen the documentary of him coming about, but it would watch it. Just if you get a chance to watch it on Showtime or HBO, whichever one, that's great. I think it might be even on Prime. I'm not really sure. Watch that documentary on President Obama's rise to presidency. But here's tonight's topic: the bail schedule. Tomorrow at the Shelton State Community College. Carmelo, if you will, please put that poster back up. From 6:30 until there will be a town hall meeting with your with your district attorney, your sheriff department, and your city's police department. Join that. Somebody got me a little too high. Join the conversation or try to be there and ask these questions and learn why these bonds are so much higher, or these bails are so much higher, and what is he going to try to do to make it equitable. And I'm talking about the district attorney now. He has a voice. He has a voice in making that decision. Now, don't go down there and get fooled now. Our district attorney is a Republican. He is a Republican. So you can go and listen to that's just the way things are, or you can demand an answer, a true answer. And don't get fooled by the fact that there's African American people that will be there vowing for this district attorney or this sheriff or this police department. So in other words, be your own person. Make your own decision. Let someone understand that you have a good common knowledge about life or the rules, these procedures in place, and ask, what are you planning on doing? It's obvious that a jail that is built for 500 people that got 735 in it. What are we doing about that? It's obvious that a lot of times when you see the bail bonds on African Americans, they're much higher than they are on whites. Ask these questions and decide on, is this a person you want to be your district attorney or your sheriff or your police chief? That's what that meeting is about tomorrow. It's an opportunity for you to understand what they stand for.
And I also recommend that because it's supposed to be a whole community event, there's other things that's going to be good for people in the community, include like if you want to start your own business or financial advising and everything. They're going to have this stuff out there for you to take advantage of it. Because it ain't like they're doing it all the time. So take advantage of it. I know we tend to get to that point where we're like, man, I ain't going to that stuff, man. They ain't going to do nothing. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of it.
Well, they got a course.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, what time is it? What time is it going to be? Again, Dow, we're going to all meet up a certain spot and we all, you know.
Is that the CA Fred campus on Kai Porter trying to come in? Kai, if I change over, everybody gonna drop. My line is full right this minute. Is at the CA campus, and during the whole day, they have certain things going on from 2. Let me read it again. From 2:15 to 3 o'clock, they got financial literacy going on. It's called Tuscaloosa Community Unity Event.
Okay.
From 2 to 6 on tomorrow. healthcare, employment, and educational opportunities play and grow. 215 to 3, financial literacy. 315, understanding FAFSA, and I'm not sure what that stands for. I can't think of it. I've been trying. 415 to 5, entrepreneurship. 515 to 6, home buying. And then from 6 to 6:30, there's a community prayer with local pastors. And from 6:45 until town hall with Tuscaloosa District Attorney's Office, Tuscaloosa County Sheriff's Office, and Tuscaloosa Police Department. Note, this event will take place at the C.A. Fred campus of Shelton State Community College, adjacent to the McDonough Hughes Center. And the one we had prior to that, I think they took it down. Let's see. But
I'm gonna let Kyle come in.
Sir?
This van one, I'm gonna let Kyle come in.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm gonna let him in, so let him get something.
Okay. Now,
I'm still listening though.
appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
The first one said, join us this free event at the McDonough Hughes Center to unite the community with fun, fellowship, and useful services. At the close of the event, District Attorney Hayes Webb, the Tuscaloosa Sheriff's Office, and the Tuscaloosa Police Department will convene a town hall for a Q&A and to be able to express compliments or concerns with Tuscaloosa law enforcement leaders. So they had to, that was changed, compared to the flyer that we have now. So it was going to be at the McDonough Hughes Center, and it was going to be a compliments of concerns. Now it's a Q&A. And this is an opportunity to meet your DA and your police department and different things of that nature.
I think they kind of knew it wasn't going to be too many compliments. I think that was the case as far as that goes. Kevin, you're still on the phone, right?
Who that?
Kevin?
No, I think
he's gone.
Yeah, Kevin and dropped.
Hello?
I'm still there, Mike.
Okay. I thought so, but I might have lost everybody.
No, you're still here. I was trying to see what Kyle Porter gonna call in. We're gonna try to wrap the show up at 10 tonight. So we got 15 more minutes. If people want to call in, got comments, concerns. People might be trying to find information out on what happened out in Cottondale. I've been trying to watch my little timeline to see if anything came up about the shooting in Cottondale.
We had a shooting in Cottondale also?
Yeah, came on my time. Well, someone inboxed me and said there was a shooting in Cottondale also, but I hadn't seen anything. Got Kai Porter on the line with us. How you doing, Kai?
I'm good. How are y'all guys?
Good.
What's happening? It's coming in bunches, Daryl. It's coming in bunches. Like, it seems like every time we have a shooting in Tuscaloosa, you can look and see for the next month or so, there's going to be a shooting almost every week after that.
Spree.
That's crazy. How many we had today? This would make 3.
This would make 3 at the one.
We had one over here in Northport.
Right. We know about the one in Northport. We had one in Haycourt. And both of those, the one in Haycourt and in Northport, from my understanding, there are loss of life in both of those incidents. And then someone also said that inboxed me and said another shooting took place in Cottondale. So I'm not familiar with that one as of right now. But in the last 4 or 5 days, we've had 4 deaths. 4 deaths since Friday.
Wow.
Today Tuesday now. Y'all realize today Tuesday. We just started.
But we really got to start investing in the youth community centers, things of that nature.
Jesse,
Not
that's
just one.
Jesse,
Hello?
that's a great point. But you know what? We ain't in position to make those kind of decisions. That's one of our problems. We don't have anyone in position to make a decision on those kind of investments. We got people that's in position to go and applaud a park.
Yes. The thing about that, with the community centers and things of that nature, we gotta put a plan in place where we start at a very young age, getting our kids involved in extracurricular activities outside of school. So when they get through with their schoolwork, when they get out of school and they take care of homework, then they come to the youth center, and there's a lot of guidance, and you have older and younger adults there to mentor these kids, the male and the female kids, to give them something positive to do, because when they get out of school, there's that time frame of 3 to 4 hours in which kids become idle. And an idling mind with a child doesn't have anything constructive to do, tend to do some things that are destructive.
Let me. You said one thing that I think is a very true statement. Timeline. We hear the preaching of a timeline of events of what our politicians say they're gonna bring to our community, what they're gonna do to change the outscope of this, a Department of Youth Services, a this and that, and give the change of activity center hours and stuff. When is the deadline of all these ideal conversations? When is the deadline, or when do we demand these deadlines for these actions to take place? If kids want to be more involved, it is more kids involved.
That's a donut behind a glass case, Daryl. It looks good. You can put your nose up against it and just see it and be like, oh, that'd be so great, but you ain't never gonna get it.
Never get it, never taste it.
We had a conversation with several politicians when they were running, and each and every last one of them said that they want to do this.
Yeah.
Neither one of them has done it yet.
We're gonna have to
include the mayor. The mayor said this.
Mike, we're gonna have to put the fire to their feet with this. We're gonna have to get in that council, and we're gonna have to make it a point and make it a huge issue, and remind them exactly what it is that they said. We have to watch what they say, and we have to watch what they nod their head to, in order for us to get some action done. Because just as you said, we had several politicians, I remember, where they were speaking on like, yes, we need to get this money to get this, this youth center, the Y Benjamin Barnes, done over, or create a new one over at the Stillman College area. And then some people was like, well, I don't know about that, because then they'll have total control and things. It was just a whole lot of back and forth. But the good thing talked about was that it's needed, and we got to put the flame to these people's feet, these council people's feet. Where they
Here's the thing about that, though, Jesse. Here's the thing about that. Right? At this particular moment in time, we can say that right now to where Walt Manning, he's gonna tell you that he raised $10 million for the Barnes Branch YMCA. Don't tell me that. I don't want to hear about nothing until I see some ground broke and some structures going up.
Exactly.
So for me, why is it such a lengthy time? Because from my youth to a few years ago, the YMCA was downtown with no issues. Building was pretty much, good condition. Wasn't as rough as Benjamin Barnes, but you can take and relocate it to a new facility, but you still struggling trying to get Gentleman Bonds off the just off the planning board. I mean,
where they moved that downtown branch to? I didn't even know that.
It's next to city
it's
board.
big on.
Just it's by the downtown post office. Just
Oh God. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's big on. They
Okay.
can throw down the old and everything. But now see, it don't have the stuff that the old Y had because that's only phase one.
yeah,
They
that's
are
just
planning
fake.
on
Right,
having two other phases.
right. I can see all that, but guess what? It's time for us to get off our hands. Our hands need to get free, because right now a lot of us, I'm including myself, we're sitting on our hands, and we need to get up and we need to throw our hands up in the air and say, "Hold up, wait a minute," and we need to get some action done over in our side of town where our kids are at risk.
Can I tell you this, Jesse? And Daryl, you can tell me if you remember me saying this. We're talking about the Bonds Branch YMCA, and of course that's going to be over there in West End. And I told Daryl, do I think, he asked me, did I think that we was going to see $10 million go toward that YMCA? And I distinctly said, heck no. We supposed to have so much money went to the McDonald Hughes Center, millions of dollars that went to the McDonald Hughes Center, and it trickled down to about $100,000.
Yeah, because apparently
It went
they
from
put it
60
to the
million.
upper
It went
line.
from 60 million to 400, less than 400,000. I want to say, Mike.
There you go.
wow.
60 million.
You see what I'm saying? So
Wow.
They were talking about building.
$10 million into a building and put in that building on the west side for majority Black people, and it's going to outdo. And I'm gonna call it like we call it on the streets, the Black Y and the White Y. You think they're gonna let the Black Y outdo the White Y?
No.
Not
No,
gonna happen.
no. You know, I of course we gonna all say heck no, but guess what? At the end of the day, we're gonna have to get down there in that council room and raise some hell. Excuse my French, but that's what we're gonna.
And I think that as much as we want to do that, they'll throw something up that's going to be a safe enough structure.
Guess what?
It's not going to cost nowhere near $10 million.
Guess what? Guess what?
That and the rest of that money is going to get sent somewhere else. Probably to the Riverwalk.
But you want to know
for the north side of the river.
You want to know something? Let them try that. But let's get them started on getting us ours. And then we'll make sure people are in place to make sure it's done right. You know, now we got to get them started.
You say that, Jesse, but if that was the case, Barnes Branch wouldn't be where it is and how it is right now.
Right,
You see what I'm saying?
because
Hey, Mike.
I don't think none of us as a whole have held them truly accountable. You know, sometimes you gotta micromanage people to make sure that they're doing the things that you ask them to do. And we have not done that as a community. We have not. We have sat back and we've heard a promise, and we sat that back and waited for the promise to take place, and it has never taken place because in the midst of when the promise was given, we didn't put the fire on their heels to make sure the promise was carried out. What I'm saying.
Well, let me ask you this then, Jesse. Because when we talked to the mayor about some of this stuff, what happened was the fingers wound up getting pointed to the city council people that we elect.
And guess what?
We don't get it out here.
Yeah, guess what? Guess what we do? Guess what we do? Let them do that. And then whoever city council people are up there that has some authority that may get it done, just let them know. And it's not a threat. We will make you a one-term council person. You don't get it done. That is fact.
You can say that, but I know one of them, for instance, It's at least a two-term right now.
But guess what? That the whole case, the whole matter wasn't brought to him. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
what I'm saying
is. Everybody been knowing about this. Jesse, this ain't nothing new.
Okay,
over there, they know who they city council people. They'll sit there and talk about it. They're like, don't have they come to the meeting, or they always late to the meeting.
Hey Mike,
go ahead.
The issue is when do you think the meeting decisions are made at city council? When do you think they're made? If you think they're made when they come in that chamber, you're dead off wrong. They just making a change. That may be the case, but when we show up to that council meeting, some decisions are going to be made, because some statements are going to be made referring to the decisions that they are making at the time. And that's what I understand by holding them accountable and holding that fire to their feet. You got to go to the pre-meeting before the council meeting. That's fine. Then we do what we have to do, because micromanaging requires you to do a whole lot of on hands and eyes in and ears open, actions to make sure things are getting done. I mean, it's not just a matter of showing up at this time. We have to show up probably this time, that time, and the other time. What I'm saying is, we're going to have to change
we had the president of the NAACP on a couple of weeks ago, and she was going up there every week talking about the incident that happened over in Hayes Court a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
Hold on. She said that she wished a lot more people had came.
Right.
She's not going to be able to go too much longer because she has to go to work. Now, that's going to be the thing most folks going to say, too. When they have that pre-meeting, that pre-meeting goes on around about 12 or 1 o'clock that day.
Exactly. You know what? Then we have to organize and come together better. There are a few of us that can show up at that 12 o'clock pre-meeting. And there are some people that are just working and cannot make it then, but they can make it at the 6 o'clock meeting or 5:30, whichever time it actually starts in the evening. What I'm saying is we have to make a presence, and we have to make a consistent presence, and we have to be on top of that. Because as long as they have room to breathe on their own, they're gonna breathe like they want to breathe, and they're gonna deliver how they want to deliver. But as long as the numbers are there and we are holding it to them, and it's a thing. It's a thing when you let a person know over and over and over, I'm coming for you. When you see them tomorrow, hey, I'm coming for you. You see them the next day, I'm telling you now, I'm coming for you. Trust me, it's gonna be after so many people, you're gonna have it in their head that you're coming, and then you show up. Then they're gonna be like,
that's a great plan. Jesse, that's a great plan what you're speaking of. But I'm gonna read some of the comments, and I'm gonna agree with some of what the people saying on the comment. Belinda Hargrave said, "Why can't this side of town get some of the fun in Kip County getting out there in Alberta?" Then she, okay. Veronica said, "And the white isn't even for children." Brenda said, "Half of the community don't even care." And she said, Belinda said, "I think Rodney Pelt and some other people were trying to get some things done. Didn't Sonny McKinstry help raise money for the Y? Tyrone researched that." I guess you referring to what's going on. Here's my take on about what we're wanting to see. More youth involved. It's a team effort of parents, community leaders, and us. It's a conjunction of all of that working together to make things happen. Community organization. But there again, the hurdles that we have to jump to make things happen. It's more opportunity. I seen probably 300 kids, more than I ever seen in a long time, involved in youth baseball at the McDonough Hughes Center. Great effort, great outcome, great response by the community. But we keep eliminating the idea or the concept. Our teens that are consistently getting in trouble now is our 16 to 21. They are eliminated from any process of things to do. Everybody ain't in the band. Everybody ain't on the basketball team. Everybody don't want to be on the football team. Everybody don't want to be cheerleader. Everybody don't want to be on the dance line. And we have identified, and I keep saying this year in and year out, we have identified the possibilities. I think if we looked at the 3 young men that committed the crime on this past Friday, I would love to see what their history are. Are they first timers? Are they repeated offenders? Have they been juvenile court? Have they been arrested? They were 18. I think all of them were 18 to 21. Have they been in alternative school? Did they go to juvenile court systems? Have they been to Mount Meg? How many times have they been involved in other crimes?
You know, I mean, you think about it. I mean, if these kids had some guidance early on, up until this point, I don't think we would be having these issues with a lot of these boys and young ladies. Because I worked with a lot of kids at my church over the years, and none of my boys are in trouble. You know, none of them. You know, some of them was even pointed out and were stereotyped that because they were a little hard-headed, but they were boys that needed some guidance. Oh, you're gonna always be trouble. This is what people used to tell me. But I would tell them, you know, that you worry about some other stuff. Worry about yourself. I worry about them. You know, because my time to them was my time to them. It mattered to me and it mattered to them. You know, so I'm going to help develop some values in them, in the best that I can, and I'm going to be genuine about it. And it matters. You know, it really matters. And all I'm saying is, we can go on and on all night about, you know, our youth and the mistakes that they make, but they make mistakes because they don't understand the better choices. They haven't been shown and taught that there are better choices to make or given better choices to make. So when they go out into the world and they, like I said, in that idle time, because you will look at statistics, and I will say this, like I said, from the hours of, I believe, 4 to 9 p.m., our kids are in danger.
I can agree.
During that time. And that is a statistical fact. It's been that way for decades within our community. It hasn't changed. It has grown in volume.
You know what, Jess? I think that you are quite right about that. And the fact of the matter is, we actually came up with a whole entire plan and sat here and ran it by the mayor, and ran it by some of the city council people. And the mayor even made this suggestion that we got schools. And why not just use the schools as community centers? So when those kids get out of school, they can stick around at school. They got enough room for some shop classes. They got enough room for little carpentry classes and stuff like that. And the buses would transport them home in the evening. Why can't we get this stuff going? I don't understand.
Let's do it. That is a great idea. Let's do it. I mean, those of us that can go out to these schools that will participate in that program, we can go out there and volunteer to help mentor, to help oversee the program and make sure everybody's safe and sound.
But we have to step up and we have to change. We have to do something different, extremely different, because the crime won't stop if the conditions don't change. We got to change. Like I got 2 granddaughters. They're 16, and I made sure. I told them they was going to join track. Y'all going to become some student athletes, because your first 2 years in high school, unfortunately, was interrupted by COVID. But I told them, no, I'm not going to let y'all sit down and not participate in anything. Y'all are going to be student athletes. They are bright kids, but they needed something extra. I know this. They needed something extra to do. And that's what I chose for them. And like I heard somebody say, these kids don't want to join band, they don't want to do this. You know what? I wasn't even trying to find out what they did or did not want to do. What I said to them, this is what you're going to do, so choose one, because it ain't going to be none. That's not an option. So sometimes parents have to make choices for their children. When their children get involved, they'll adapt and they'll start to enjoy it, because what you don't know, sometimes you don't want. But once you get a piece of it, then you find out you actually like it. And that's how kids' minds are, especially nowadays with all this social media stuff going on. Us parents have to kind of do some decision making for our kids, just to give them a chance to see and do something different. That's just out there for the community and parents to think about. Sometimes, even my daughter, she was like, well, they don't want to really do that. I said, I ain't asking them what they really want to do. That's the problem. You're asking them what they want to do, but it's not what they want to do. It's what we know is best for them, And that's some things that some parents need to change with their kids. I don't want to force. You don't want to force. No, I didn't say force them, but point them in the direction. They may like it, They may enjoy it. I'm not saying put them on a football team that never played football, because that's not what you want to do, But track.
What if the fact is they good with their hands and they decided they want to do something in the realm of welding or carpentry or auto mechanics or something like that?
Let me give you an update before you answer that. Let me give you an update as of 9:33 p.m. A suspect in the shooting is in custody in Northport. At least one person is dead and several others were injured in a shooting Tuesday in Northport. Northport received a call at 4:56 p.m. Tuesday of shots fired between 2 vehicles at the Wendy's in the 1900 block of McFarland Boulevard, and Northport Police Assistant Chief Keith Carpenter. The vehicle were not at the scene when officers arrived. About 30 minutes later, Northport Police and the Tuscaloosa Violent Crime Unit, which is now handling the case, responded to an area near Fieldcrest Drive on a shooting with multiple victims. Jack Kennedy, victim crime Captain Jack Kennedy, that area is near a Wendy's Public and Fieldcrest apartment complex. Carpenter later said the victim crime unit found 2 people in that area with gunshot wounds, including one with a fatal injury. Authorities were determining whether the Fieldcrest scene was connected to the incident at Wendy's, the assistant chief said. Kennedy said there are at least 2 crime scenes. Also, the victim crime unit confirmed that at least one victim has died, and it was immediately clear how many other victims were injured or how seriously they are hurt. So that's the update. They do have a suspect in custody on this incident. And let's just pray for everybody, y'all. Let's pray.
Yep, absolutely.
Let's pray for these families, the victims of the families, and the suspect family. You never think about how lonely the suspect families feel when incidents of this nature happen. And we talk about how we concerned about the good kids or the good families. And I thought about something, Mike. Just when you said, looking out for certain kids at a certain time. I know I coached Little League baseball for roughly 10 years almost, I would say. But my son was also involved. But after my son wasn't involved, I also continued to coach. And so, relatively out of 120 kids, young ladies and men, and I normally see them. Matter of fact, I was in Cititrend on Sunday, and a parent recognized me, and her daughter was one of my best female pitchers. And I didn't get a chance to see her, but just seeing the growth in the other kids of them going on through life makes me feel good. And out of 120 kids, I can still say maybe 2 to 3 might have strayed, but they had good family foundation. And I've seen 2 of the 3 back into reality of life. In other words, they made some mistakes, but they've been forgiven, forgotten, and they're moving on with their life. So that's still, there's several hundreds of success stories of people being involved in our kids' lives here in Tuscaloosa. Reverend Sutton, for example, bless his soul, rest in heaven. Him and his family, we want to pray for them too. Big impact on several young men through church and through school. So, yes, do we need more mentors? Do we need more people involved? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And just, you have an excellent plan that, yes, we need to hold the people accountable that's in charge of the money, the people in charge of the ideas, the people in charge of making sure these dreams happen. So you have an excellent idea. I can agree with you 100%. And as Belinda said, his other comments, Belinda said about funding. Kip Tyner is probably one of the most experienced council people we have up there. And he understands what it takes as a council person to make things happen in your community. Okay, tornado came through and wiped out Alberta City. And Alberta City was approximately one of the worst areas for a long time. It was worse than the west side, as we knew. But the tornado happened. And in order to make things happen in Alberta, he's vowing for new homes, new apartment complexes, new businesses, and it's working. And that's all we're saying. He's doing what a council person should do, and that's vow for funding and monies for his district, for jobs, for new businesses outlook. And yes, he ain't doing no more than what any other person can do, but you got to know what to ask for and when, and don't be persuaded that let's just wait on this to happen and then it can come your way next time. But next time never happened. 8 years ago. And I'm gonna say this, and we gotta go, y'all.
He also got and I got this from actually Sonya. He got a contractor over there that's willing to do stuff in Alberta City, and he's doing everything he can to keep that contractor happy.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? That's the one thing that, as a city council person, you're supposed to be trying to do. You're supposed to entice contractors to come to your district and help build it up.
Developers.
Network.
You got to network with developers. That's correct. You have to network with them to make sure things can happen. Yeah. We in District 7 alone, I've seen some things that I'm disappointed in already, and that is a new fire department and a new fire department. And I've seen where funding that I know was available that was for roads, for paving of roads in this district, in one of the worst roads in the city of Tuscaloosa. And they was in the area paving around this particular road. But it's not done. And it hadn't got done, and it probably won't get done for another 4 years. because the
I also
funding.
heard that there was a business that wanted to come down to District 7 also. They wanted to take up residence in the old Pizza Hut. It was vetoed.
Well, it's a Crimson Wings over there now. It's a business over there. I don't know who did, but there's a hotel. There's hotels that were in the making. That's no longer in the making. You know, there are different
You
things.
know, but you guys know who have the business. It's the people that have the wings and things over there. Over here, right that gas station behind Hayes Court.
Oh,
Wings of King.
King Wings.
Those are the ones that have the old Pizza Hut building there.
Okay, I didn't know who it opened. I did
Well,
see
it
it was
was
open.
another place that was called Smoke It Up. They wanted to put a barbecue place like that. And they actually out of I think Hoover or Fairfield. They wanted to come down, and it was vetoed by the mayor.
One thing I noticed that's on the agenda now, and it's possibly going, if they looking at different sites that they're choosing from. That's what majority of the things are on the back burner and being vetoed for business wise in those areas. Where Sonny was trying to make sure she get the sports complex put out there on Sky. Well, that's been they done put plans together for different locations, and mainly they all involve around downtown and UA. And so that's why you don't hear nothing about the Benjamin bars, right? And you're not, because it's been put on the back burner. All those businesses have been vetoed, and they trying to draw business. They don't want to draw business out that way because too many of us live out that way. So all that they trying to draw all the business they can to the downtown area.
Why do you think that is? Yeah, why do you think they want to grow business downtown?
Sum it up for me, somebody. We got 11 minutes.
Go ahead and tell us, Kay.
I'm asking a question. I don't know for certain. So I'm just asking a question.
It's beneficial to the university, I can tell you that.
Exactly.
But yeah, they done looked at.
I said this for the longest time, and I actually told this to the mayor. That Tuscaloosa seemed to do everything in the best interest of the University of Alabama. The University of Alabama don't tend to do the best interest of Tuscaloosa.
There's like bowl money they win every year. That bowl money is supposed to go to the surrounding communities, plural, not singular. The surrounding community, meaning our houses and homes and areas on the UA. Surrounding communities, that's the west side. Surrounding communities is the south side. Surrounding community is the east side, out there in Alberta.
Well,
surrounding community is the north side.
All right, three minutes. Go 3 minutes. 3 minutes. I'm gonna let y'all go in on Jesse right quick. Jesse, you gotta get it, man. You gotta get it. 3 minutes.
All right. All right.
You know what? Before we get on, I want to make sure that y'all know that next Wednesday, I have he's scheduled to come on with me. We're doing a team summit with the mayor, and I would like for y'all to tune in to that. And I also would like y'all to call in if y'all have any questions or comments that y'all want to give to the mayor.
Okay.
We're gonna be talking to him on next Wednesday at 8 p.m. on Wednesday night.
Okay, great.
Okay. Remind me, please.
Just that. They gotta get you, Jess.
Yes, sir.
They gotta give it to you. Let me see if Veronica want to go ahead and call in and get hers in.
Y'all better get me. Now I called in. I made sure I had enough of my grandkids, and I said, let me get on hold so I can get on this phone so Veronica can have her way.
Let me see.
If I can take it like I did it.
I believe she's asleep. She might have went on to sleep. Oh, nope. You too bad.
There she
She's
go.
here. Here she go. All right, Veronica, all yours.
Jesse?
Oh, Lord.
Jesse?
Oh, yes, Veronica.
Now, I'm an Alabama fanatic.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna tell you this, you know how our boys do. We play up when they get when they play up when we get on them, they get lackluster. It's homecoming.
Mm-hmm.
They better show up.
Yeah,
I'm saying 42 to 17. Now, you tell us what them Florida Gators gonna do down there in the swamp. Or wherever they going today. I mean,
I think we already played our home, so.
Well, they got to play a game, don't they? They got a bye week this week.
We got a bye this week.
What they gonna do?
I
say 17-42, my boy.
I think we play Arkansas. I gotta look at that calendar.
Y'all went to Death Valley though. Y'all went to Death Valley and came out.
Yeah, we came out just bones and smoke.
Mm.
Yeah, I went down there to Death Valley and left and got that man fired down there.
He got himself fired.
And
let me tell you something. Mullins,
y'all leave
it up, he gonna get fired.
I believe you're right, Jesse. I think Mullins.
Oh yeah, it's a bye week. Florida got a bye week.
Florida lose to Georgia. Mullins is out.
Right now, I'm gonna
Mullins
tell you
is
this
out.
right now. The problem is we got players, but it's just Mullins. He ain't built to take it.
Yeah,
to that.
Florida got a bye week.
He built to take it to that next level.
Look,
you know, it just ain't. It's not gonna
Jesse,
happen.
your coach is gone. If y'all lose, y'all got to play Georgia, right?
Yeah, we got Georgia.
Y'all lose that game.
Matter of fact, I think that's Georgia after this bye week.
Yeah, Georgia after the bye week.
You lose this game, Dan Mullen is gone. They're gonna buy his
He
contract out.
He really needs to be gone.
I think they're gonna buy his contract out.
Hold up, calm down. Let's just all calm down. Let's just all calm down. I think y'all need to leave Dan alone. Let's just all calm down. We moving a little too fast.
I can get a bad intention all in your voice.
Let's all just calm down. Let's all just calm down. We're getting a little above. We're going a little above and beyond. I think Dan Mullins is an outstanding coach for the Florida Gators. As long as we're done with him for right now.
I bet you.
Look, now if y'all don't beat South Carolina, then I can see y'all being a little platoon.
Let me say this. The coaches that really win it all are the passionate coaches like Nick Saban that really brings passion to his coaching. And he doesn't mind running out on that field and getting into somebody's face when they screw up.
Mm-hmm. I'm appalled. I'm just appalled. I've seen Dan Mullen bite his lip and grit his teeth.
He bite his lip and grit. Like, you know what? Florida was on because I sure see it on planet Earth. You know what? I tell you, he pulled out. It's like he popped somebody in the hand when they do something wrong. It nothing shows. You know what I mean? So how is your team gonna be motivated to not make mistakes? If your players need a hard hand. And Saban, I respect his coaching because, like I said, he holds everybody accountable, even his coaches. I done seen him drill a coach out.
I'm just flabbergasted. Look. Isn't Dan Mullen a Florida alum or something like that? Didn't they get him back there? When he coached their assistant coach or something, they got him some kind of way.
Let me say this. The last time we had a coach like that was passionate about coaching hard and holding the team responsible, accountable, was literally Steve Spurrier. Literally speaking. Yeah. Now, you know, what's the name that with the Jacksonville Jack, he did it a little bit, but he was like kind of like real, like on the sideline, like chirping, like made his coaches do all the dirty work.
But Spurrier was a Nick Saban in Florida, and they need another Spurrier down there that's passionate, that hold them boys accountable and make them play football the way.
Yeah. Wait a minute. He's a coordinator at Florida.
Who?
I'm looking at he was our physical coordinator in 05.
Yep.
I think the man is at home. I think the man is just comfortable, and he's just not passionate enough to you because he's relaxed and he's comfortable. He's comfortable in his position at home.
He wasn't that way at Mississippi State. He was the same way at Mississippi State. So he is who he is. He's not a player.
Yes, I just think he's just a calm coach.
Well, we don't need calm.
Well, I've been quite impressed. He had me scared a couple of weeks ago.
Well, he had everybody scared a couple of weeks ago. They played football. They played football, and the kicker had one job.
Now we're very familiar with those kickers.
Yeah, and that's just what we need. That's the type of coach we need down there in Florida. We need somebody that's gonna hold everybody accountable. Because Mullen's made some bad plays. I felt like after those 2 interceptions, you pull Jones. You gonna put the boy in there because he put the boy in there. Let this boy do his thing.
Maybe y'all can get Tebow to coach. Maybe y'all can pull Tebow and get him to coach.
All right, y'all. Hey, great night. Y'all can jump on Jesse again on Thursday since we ran out of time.
I thought I escaped them.
No.
What's wrong?
I got there, Coach Florida for y'all because I got more passion than damn money.
You are not lying. But Veronica, you know what I'm saying, though. You know what I'm saying? I just don't get it. They make all these mistakes, and he won't drill them. Drill them more.
Hey, Jesse.
Yeah,
I told Veronica Saturday to call and check on you because I was concerned about you.
Look here, I was busy on the hotline at that time.
We were missing you, man. We thought we were, somebody had grabbed you, ran off.
Man, boy, my feelings would hurt, boy. Hey, it was rough Saturday, boy. I tell you, Saturday had a long night for me.
All I got to say is Tennessee better not come here slinging no trash. That's all, and French's mustard bottles. That's all I got to say in golf bottles.
Y'all gonna kill Tennessee.
Tennessee got their new shirts. They got their new shirts.
They're gonna get killed.
They got their new shirts. The black shirts. That's what they got.
They gonna get killed.
I mean, she crying as a real man now. They got their new shirts. They bad now.
What?
Tennessee threw everything but the kitchen sink.
They don't like
Y'all need to quit it.
They got them black shirts. That means they gonna win out.
Tennessee got black jerseys.
Yeah, they got black jerseys.
They came with Halloween.
Crazy, like they just won the national title game when they bring them part.
Man, what they think they the Oregon Ducks of the South?
I don't know, man. I don't know what they were thinking. I'm like,
hey,
Georgia wore the black shirts one time too.
Well, I can see Georgia wearing some black. They've done it before.
We blacked them out.
That's right.
Yeah, Georgia said they were gonna black out. Georgia blacked out.
And we left them with a blackout.
That's that day it rained so bad. Hurricane or something had been through that.
It rained like ain't nobody's business that day.
Yep.
God. And then who was that had the whiteout? Who was that? What time was that? That was this year. Was the whiteout?
Yeah, that was this year.
Yeah, somebody had the whiteout. I can't remember who it was.
that kind of threw me for a real loop right there. A whiteout.
Wasn't that
I thought we was going to a black folk cookout. Somebody white party or something.
All white party.
Y'all trying to play all white party down here?
It was Penn State. It was Penn State.
Penn State.
It was Penn State.
And you know what? You know what?
Oh, white party over there.
A guy showed up from that lived here. No, he was living there. He's an Alabama fan. He showed up with an Alabama shirt on. Alabama shirt, Alabama hat, toes under the ring.
All that red, all that white.
All that white. He had on an Alabama roll tide shirt and hat.
Yeah, I know they wanted to get him.
All right, guys.
Well,
Great night.
I will help us out. I'm just waiting to see what Cincinnati gonna do. I know Cincinnati more legit than Iowa. I will say that.
Yeah.
But it don't matter now. It don't matter. All y'all
matters.
gotta do is win out.
Gotta
So you
win. Gotta keep winning.
Just play Georgia tight.
Gotta keep
But
winning.
I don't know, Jesse. That Georgia will be 2 lost though. We was straight. We were straight when we had that. If we could have lost or won the SEC championship. I feel that we hadn't had that one loss A&M.
Yeah, it would be.
I think
It would have been a whole lot easier then. Just one loss in the SEC championship. Because think about it, we made it without even playing in the SEC championship. So I think that if we hadn't slipped up with A&M and if Georgia would have beat us in the championship, we still would have been straight.
Oh yeah, we would have.
Y'all would have the number 2 right now. So we've been here before.
It would have probably been a switch.
We've
up.
lost one and still won out. But it happened with Alabama. That's what they needed. Their boys had.
But and Georgia was good before in the 2012 SEC championship. But this Georgia they have now is the best Georgia they've had in 10 years. I know.
Yeah, they kind of special down
there. Look, they put a meme up saying they put the championship thing in Kirby Hand saying the first coach to ever win the national championship in October. I couldn't even get smart with him. I said I got to tread lightly till we slide on it and see what we can do because we just slipped up, so I can't talk big talk.
Well, that was motivation. That's motivation. All that they motivate.
Let it gas light. Like I can say, look here, y'all. I'm gonna say this. I don't care what y'all say, but that loss y'all got, I put it on Nick Saban. He should not respond.
Oh, that was coaching too. That was coaching as well as playing.
Nah. Nick Saban don't do that. What he actually did.
He actually admitted. He actually admitted.
We're not gonna get back into that one. I'm trying to tell you now.
It's don't be time for us to go ahead on call tonight. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick it back up.
Pick it up on Tuesday, on Thursday. Take us away, Mike.
So y'all have a good night. We're gonna check y'all out. Y'all please be safe.
All right, everybody. Y'all be safe and have a good night.
Yeah, don't forget about tomorrow, the community event over there at C.A. Fred campus. Not gonna be at down in Houston. Gonna be at C.A. Fred campus.
Okay.
6:30.
That tomorrow.
6:30.
So are y'all sure that the first part, the 2 to 6, isn't at McDonough Hughes Center? Because that's been a big discussion about that being 2 to 6 and then over to the Fred campus, the part where you have, I guess, the Q&A.
I'm just going to.
Because they're right next door.
I'm just going to the Fred campus at 6:30. That's where I'll be at.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, we're gonna meet at some place, or we just gonna everybody show up out there.
Just come on over to the C.A. Fred campus.
Okay.
All right. See y'all then.
All right.
All right.
All right.
All right.